All right, welcome CNR Fags. This is the CNR Radio Talk Show. Forgot to turn down my TV. Anyway, we have our guest here, Marcus Weed, the BR guy. What's up, Marcus Weed?
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello, puta.
Porra, caralho, velho. Puta que pariu.
There you go. There's the weed rage already, I tell you. So before we get into it with Marcus Weed, let's get into our sponsor, who is also Marcus Weed. Of course, that sponsor was made by Cyberg. 5 second, 5 second sponsor. I couldn't even get a chance to catch my breath. Anyway, Marcus Weed. First question here is always the same. When and how did you find CnR?
CnR, alright. So, I joined SAMP back when it was on 0.2x. That's probably 2009. On a Brazilian role-playing game server by a friend of mine who indicated. And turns out he wouldn't play every day. And I was starting getting bored, playing alone. So they said, hey, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look for a server. And you have the internet tab on SAMP and you have the hosted ones. And the internet tab, it changed a lot. You can, I couldn't keep tracking IPs from the servers and stuff like that. I was very new back in the day. So I started looking forward to hosted servers. And I started playing, the famous one like Protect the President, those Call of Duty servers, there was like 7 of them. I would play on all of them, and I wouldn't remember which one I was playing. Until one day I stopped by and like, look, what's this server? Like, cops and robbers? I don't know, should be interesting. Let me give it a try. And there we go. That's how I found CNR. I started playing, but I wouldn't play seriously. I wouldn't take it seriously. I would play pretty much when my friend wasn't online to play the other Brazilian server, so... But right now, there's full commitment. 7 years of commitment.
So you said your friend played CnR as well?
No, he played a Brazilian role-playing game server. And that's when he invited me to play as well. But back in 2009, the games were very nice. So you can imagine people playing Crossfire, Ragnarok, World of Warcraft, so he got bored of GTA and left me behind. So I had to move on and find something else to do.
Fucking Crossfire, honestly.
Do you remember? I played Crossfire back in the day too,
Somebody tried to get me into that, but it looked like a dirt game. I think Noise played it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you were shot. You should play Crossfire, bro. It's fun.
That's his literal voice. That's Noise's voice.
The hipster from what, Morocco, right? Egypt or something.
Yes, he intentionally ripped his jeans and sat on a
to make him look hipster or something.
Yeah, I don't understand. Shout out to Noise, though. He's a cool fag. All right, so let's go into the past here. So, as some of us know here, you used to be in the Ace team. Ace team was Ace team first. And you were leader of the counter-terrorist unit, CTU.
Yes, the best unit.
Yes. For you, what was the height of the Ace team like? Was it the best time in your CNR career?
I joined Ace in 2015 when I came back to actively play CNR. And, sounded a promising group, sounded something amazing. They were gathering people, some decent players besides Ahmad No Fall. And I was like, let me give you a chance to this group. Let me, I came back and I needed something more solid to, looking for a group. And I found Ace. But the only thing that really shocked me was that they played on SF, right? And I wasn't an SF player before I stopped stopping. Was the LS, CH camper and an LV player.
The noob.
And let me give you a try to SF. So the first weeks, I was fucking lost in SF. I had no idea where the neighbors were. I had no idea where the places were. But I believe that the prime, the gold era of Ace was probably late 2015 and the beginning of 2016. That I would say the last 6 months of 2015 and the first 6 months of 2016 was probably the best era for Ace. I mean, it was when everybody was really together, on with the main objective, which was making SF its place. And eventually the drama, all that shit started. So that's when, in my opinion, the group started to fall. And well, what else can I say?
Yes, this was before the meme era, right?
Kinda. I mean, the meme era was what, in 2016, the beginning, more like mid 2016, I guess. But I wouldn't blame the meme era though. Turns out I like the memes now.
Oh no! Oh no! Also, you said before that when you first joined San Fierro, you didn't know where the places were. That sounds like Ali right now. Oh, what a noob!
I mean, I remember when I started playing back in the day, 2010. I was like, I'm only playing as last and LV because it was the most famous cities. Most of the time it was full, and SF was between the three, the last played. And I didn't like SF. All the hills, it was annoying. It was an annoying city to play. And turns out I came back SF, so I was really lost in the first few weeks. But now I'm very used to SF. SF is the best city. So for everybody listening out there, I don't know what servers there are, but SF is the best city. And don't trust LV. The nasty cheaters play there. It's complicated. But SF for the win.
No, LB's there right now. I mean, I'm in Los Venturas right now. There are a whole bunch of Los Venturas DMer
players. Yeah, the nasty. The same crew that plays on daily basis, meeting each other on base side, and it's amazing. I mean, LV is complicated.
I mean, goddamn, let me just list the fags out for you. I can name 10 fags right now. I got Machiavelli, got LOLer, Sales. Vinix Salvatore. Let me see. There are at least 10 fags here. Victim, he's a quitter. What a noob. There's a Xerox Kitty. A whole bunch of fags in LV right now. You got Smells Like Bacon right now talking some nonsense right now. He's
and Tanner. There's also Tanner is probably around too because he's always around on LV.
Yes, Tanner. He's a successful troll, but he's a tolerable troll. The move. Ali just said the move. The move is he's a fucking faggot. All right. So for anybody who knows the move, he's a faggot. Yes, dog. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to say it. Anyway, let's move on here. So after a while, I remember the Ass Team Billboard, right?
Yes.
The Ace Team and Ass Team Billboard. So, how long did it take for you to get used to people calling it the Ass Team at that time?
To be honest, I didn't expect us to have an actual billboard. It all started with a trolley on IRC, and someday someone said, "Hey, there's a billboard out there." No, come on, man, you gotta be kidding! And that was actually a billboard, but it was on a trolling version. Of course, CnR is always about that, the trolling, So there was a billboard with the Ass Team. It was funny. I mean, we took it very nicely. Some people didn't like it in Ace, I remember, but most of us we took it. We liked the idea. It was very fun. And I think about 1 month later or something, there was an actual Ace Team billboard with a nice spelling and no ass spelling, but it's amazing. It was a nice accomplishment. I mean, I see that as progress. I mean, besides the joke, it's an actual recognition by CnR admins. It was very nice. And followed by that, we earned our forum space, special and private space, which was also very nice. So yeah.
Oh, really? Because I do remember for probably a week, I remember you put the keep arguing in the IRC about, why is there an Ass Team billboard? It's Ace Team, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we had to yell out, but at the end of the day, we kind of accepted the joke around, and even the bots say Ass Team, so Ass Team assemble. You probably seen that, but we took the joke and moved on. I mean, it's okay. I mean, after all, we didn't get mad, and because we wanted a billboard, and we got one, but it wasn't what we wanted. So I was like, porra, velho, caralho, a gente deu one.
There you go. And the Black Eagles don't have one yet because the newest billboards, you notice, have all been Mew inspired.
I've seen the Lithuanian flag, the Russian flag. What else?
Trump, Pence, Sukabliat,
Oh my god!
Rush B.
All Russian related, and
Yes.
oh my god!
It gives the Eastern European feel that CNR always needed to.
Yeah, CnR was too American-ish, it was too America, and it's good to have a fucking Russians around. I mean,
Exactly, Europeans have taken over the server, so of course we need some more.
I moved
European
on, so
billboards.
yeah, I'm taking over the server there as well. I mean,
And that's how it's gotta go. Just like the Europeans getting mad at refugee crisis, Europeans have come in, and we are no longer the majority. So we all are gonna go cut our foreheads. You know what I mean, and be mad.
I mean, Americans lost the popularity on CnR. I mean, obviously, with the Europeans took over, you can see around. I mean, the majority of the players are Europeans nowadays. Besides the PHs out there, and but come on.
It's a huge PH population. They need to go to LB for sure. Honestly,
Obviously, I mean, that's their hometown. I remember, there's a CnR group out there on Facebook, and I'm part of it. And I every day I left my ass on there because I saw a PH guy. He took a screenshot of Bayside with several PHs. I don't remember their name, but PH something, PH Hallelujah. They have a lot of names. And there was this guy inviting everyone else for gang wars, for gang versus gang war. And come on, man, the PHs are amazing. I think they have like this fight between the net cafes. There's this net cafe versus the other net cafe, and they fight each other. It must be like clan related or something.
that would be a nice idea. All of the PH internet cafes go into a private tournament
Between them. A private. Oh my god.
Nobody else.
It wouldn't
knows
surprise me,
this.
Rashawn. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if they have like internal tournament on PH to see the best clan, the best DMing clan on Philippines. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Kiyumi is the overseer in that because like I said, he is the leader of all PH Internet Cafe affairs.
Kidding me? Oh
Goodness.
my god.
This fucking guy, I tell you. I just want to shout out Kiyumi. He is a faggot. Very simple. Very simply. All right, so we'll return to the ass team in a bit, but you remember CUSA, right?
Obviously, I was
Yeah,
denied by you. All right. I mean, what else I was denied on CUSA, guys. I mean, that's embarrassing, but at the same time relieving because I wasn't part of all that drama that sink CUSA down the river. But I applied, and there was the other guy, random guy, that applied as well, and he got it accepted. I didn't. I was like, hey, come on, man. Fuck you, Rashawn, man. You denied me on CUSA, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, so some guy named Alexander Doni. Of course, CUSA was more of a North American, Western Hemisphere cop group. So we
Right.
never
There's some
saw
kind
the
of.
flag.
Let's see. So you guys are racist, and xenophobic, and I can see that. I mean, I was disappointed when I was like, come on, man, I'm denied on CUSA. This is embarrassing, but
I was about to say, sometimes you've been mad at it, but you should feel lucky. Why don't you feel lucky
Yeah.
you got denied?
turns out I feel lucky because I didn't take part on all that drama that happened, all that shit that happened in fighting, but I mean.
Yeah, and all the passenger seats too.
Those the gold era of cop tanks that they're ripped now,
Those cop tanks are dead. All the surfer cops are now all mad.
What happened to Surgic, by the way? He's still around? I mean, besides after the cup tanks being disabled and disbanded?
Well, I guess, since Benny Boy left the server, his driver left the server, so he's like, oh, well, I gotta start driving again. And,
now he's improving. All right. That's good, man. That's good.
He's a good cop. He has new passengers now. Before the show started, I saw Vinix attacking 3 cops. One of Surgic's passenger seat cops was in that 3v1, and I think it was Cathlin, and those cops got destroyed by Vinix. Terrible, awful cops, I tell you. Stay in the passenger seat. Cathlin, stay in the passenger seat.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. All right, so continuing with the ass team here. So let's get into the deep snit. Okay.
All right. I knew this one's gonna come. I'm prepared for that. All right. I'm gonna answer some. All right.
Wow, it's like you're reading my script here, Zach. Okay, so let me set the prologue here. So there are people in CNR who are more partial to players from their own country. Americans don't really do this, and in some ways British players don't do this. But PH players, Albanians, other Balkan countries, Croatia, Serbia, sometimes Canada, they all prioritize their own players. Remember when Wizzy got banned from the forum or something for
the
Star Wars thing?
Star spoiler? That they Doogie got super mad, but come on. Carry on, all right.
He got banned for the Star Wars thing, and Sarust became his lawyer. And within a few days, he got unbanned. So, sometimes it's great to be from the Balkans, because a Balkan player will be your lawyer and get you unbanned from somewhere.
Yeah, there's always like that, they look out for each other. I know what you're gonna get it, but come on.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so, I don't really understand this idea, but during the ass team era, a lot of talk back then was how you used to baby Hiago No. Do you think you were babying Hiago No?
I'm gonna give the answer to the specific situation, and then I'm gonna answer your actual question. What happened was, I believe when you're in your unit, or I've been in the military in real life, and when you're in a unit, you need to stand out for each other, for your members, for your brothers out there. And Iago was in my unit, all right. And despite Iago, having some troubles with some admins, doing hitmen, all the hitmens around, they always get disabled, they always get punished, because that's how it is. I mean, sometimes a C bug happens, sometimes shit happens, and I understand that. But in that specific case, there was no proof, no actual proof on Iago, all right. And the situation, I don't remember. I don't even think he was disabled. He was just being blamed for something, but that didn't happen. And I spoke with Iago in private and said, "Hey, what happened? Tell me what happened." He explained me. He was, it's all the same shit. He's good. He's a good DMer. He's a good on Hitman. That's it. He's good. He's good on fighting people. And people die. They blame. They cry to the admins. They take random screenshots. They make some random footage, and that's it. And what amazed me was my second in command back in the day, which was Liu Tank. Instead of looking out for his members, which is, in my opinion, that's what people should do on a unit. You should look out for your fellow members. You shouldn't throw them in the bonfire. You should look out for them. See what you can do, and of course, sometimes you need to be strict and take action. But in that case, it wasn't the situation. So instead, yeah, whatever. So instead of taking care of the member, instead of looking out for them, he threw him in the bonfire, and that's when the first fights started there. And I didn't like his attitude. Iago had there was no proof on him. Even admins say that. I mean, I'm not the only one saying that. People say that there was no actual proof. That's why he didn't get kicked from Ace. Nothing happened because there was no proof. But I look out for my members. Back in the day, I would look out for everybody that was in CTU, And regarding this babysitting, I wouldn't say babysitting, but he was a friend of mine. Well, he was like the only Brazilian, not the only Brazilian, but one of the Brazilians that would play with me most of the time. So we had a friendship. So you need to look out for your friend. You need to believe in what they say. But actual babysitting, I'm not sure if that's the word for what I did. It's more like friendship and standing out for your friends when the time comes. I mean, you shouldn't just let him fuck himself. You should counsel him. I was more experienced on CnR, knew more about the rules, about how things happen, and I just did my best to protect my people. That's about it. I mean,
since you explained it like that, I understand where you're coming from. I guess I was thinking the normal cynicism of CnR players when they usually defend people just
because of nationality. Yeah. No, it wasn't the case.
Well, nationality, or just because they're their friend. Because this is the thing. Obviously, I'm probably not going to want to talk about this on the radio, but you may know who I'm talking about. This fag who got banned from CnR, and he got his friends saying he didn't do nothing. He got banned for no reason. And I was thinking, hey, well, if he wasn't your friend, he wouldn't give a snit. So. Yeah. They had no logic behind that.
Of course, I mean, Iago is a player like everyone else. He's up to make mistakes, to break the rules, and he did that before. He has done it before. And I'm not saying that he's not a rule breaker. He's not, never fucked up on CnR. But when the time comes and you check out the situation, there's no proof. There's no reason to kick him. There's no reason to give him a warning. There's nothing. I mean, it shouldn't happen. That situation shouldn't be happening. We had ways on ACE to check out for the members, to make the decisions between the command, to avoid this kind of drama there. And what happened was people throwing him in the bonfire just like that in public and completely unnecessary. So I had to stand out for the member. I would stand for anyone in ACE in first place. I would stand in anyone for ACE and in anyone in CTU especially, because that was my unit, And I just didn't like how things happen. And in that specific case, there was nothing on him. There was no evidence. There's no proof. There was just simply people butt hurt, and that's it pretty much, But if he was wrong, I would, throw him in the bonfire myself and enforce some rules on him and put some application or put him on the line. But that wasn't the case, In that specific case, it wasn't. And how people reacted over it annoyed me personally, and I took it personal because he was in my unit. Could be him, could be Daskers, could be Bruno, could be anyone,
Yeah, I understand. I guess I understand now. Could get deep into that one, but there are people who don't know your side of the story, and
I know
most of the time we've had one side. I mean, Marcus. I'm sorry. Iago, no. Obviously, he wasn't the best player, and I don't remember him getting disabled for any of the things that he did. I just remember every couple days he'd get punished for so what or so forth, a jail or
some shit like that would happen. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, he told me himself. I mean, when he wasn't doing cop work, he would be doing hits. Well, a hitman, like take for example Evangelist, right? He's a good player, all right, but sometimes he steps out of the line to face Albanians, for example. You either step out of the line to kill the fucking Albanians, or you die. So it's and that's what you gotta do. You gotta survive on CnR, especially in Las Venturas, But if you check out all the jails, the hogs, all that shit that happened on Iago mostly happened on LV, because that's where he played as a civilian doing Hitman. In SF, he was actually doing good. We were doing mostly cop work together, and we were doing some decent work. I remember the only complaint we actually had, which was dismissed, was the complaint that Exit made on us back in the day, and it didn't even go further. I mean, it was stupidity and shit happens. There was another one by American Gangster that also joined and started to make a soap opera on the complaint, with all his huge text that he likes. But the complaint was dismissed anyways because there was no actual proof. So I mean, I was starting to think that people were treating Iago not properly, maybe because he wouldn't understand English properly if he was alone. And I didn't like that kind of situation, so I decided to stand up, not only because he was a friend of mine, but because he was in my unit, and I had to look out for my members. That's actually my side of the story. I don't know why some people don't know it, or they pretend that they didn't know it, but that was always my side. And I mean, I try to be as fair as possible. I avoid a lot of drama, a lot of shit. But when it comes to people not being fair to members of your unit or to players in general, I usually stand up for that.
And also to be fair, Agi and Exit also got kicked because they're both idiot.
Merda de player, no? I mean,
let's see here. One more thing about the AS team. There is one thing that I will say was my mistake. So, I guess, back when you brought down the executive order to kick Poetic and me, I also brought up the Iago no snit. And while that may have been relevant, Poetic is a faggot, and he acted like a faggot after you left, and he should have been a kickhead. Plus, when I think about it, to have every decision you make being countered by the handling of Iago, no, I'm sure that was pretty annoying to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that whole situation with Poetic and Tank was really annoying. Of course, there's an actual story here, and people, I believe they didn't hear my side of the story. So, shall I? I mean...
yeah, go ahead, bro.
The thing happened when the vice president elections had happened. The situation was Viper became very busy with college and a lot of stuff that was happening, and there was actually only 2 leaders that was taking Ace on its back, right? And it was Cyber and myself in first place. Then we had Kid Caddy and Tommy that was also more active than Flash, for example, but they was less active than us. And we were, doing pretty much the duty of a president, because we had to take action, had to handle the members, handle the applications, handle all the AC procedures, all this stuff. You know that because you've seen Ace command forums, right? Yes. And I'm not joking around or say some shit. So what happened was we came up to the leaders. We got together and said, "Hey, let's do this. Let's get a second in command for Ace to answer when Viper is not around." So that's what I did. We came up to Viper, said, "Hey, Viper, we need a second in command, something like a vice president or something." And they said, "All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to propose the elections, and the candidate's going to be the team leaders." So that's pretty much when all the shit happened, because people thought I was trying hard too much to take Ace or something, which was not the case. I mean, people... maybe the ACE members or something, they didn't know what was being done in the background. All the hard work that was being made on the command forums to make sure ACE, improves on a daily basis. The procedures for accepting new members, all that stuff that was being made that people have no idea that happened. And still so they throw stones on me, but okay. So the vice president elections happened, and there was 2 situations. I was there, and there was Tommy, all right? I was somehow friendly with Tommy. But when this specific era came, the president elections, I felt like I wouldn't say he was backstabbing me. I wouldn't say that, but he was more populist than me. I'm not a populist person. I mean, I join SF to play. I get in my cheetah and I do cop work. I stay on the group. I talk with people, but I'm mostly playing, and that's how I do. And I don't get people, on the Sultan. I don't do that, And that was this kind of populism that I didn't do, and people were starting, blaming me for not being too friendly, for not being on the group. And I was like, hey, I do a lot of work on the background, and people didn't do that. People didn't see that. And so the president happened, the vice president appointment happened on December 25th, and I was elected with 2 votes or 3 in difference from Tommy. And that's when the whole shit happened, actually. That's when I had Poetic against me, had Tank against me, had Tommy somehow against me, and
Yes.
Tommy and Tank and people, they all decided to drag people around against me, like Kit Kat. There was a lot of shit happening in Ace. And I was like, I was legitimately elected. People voted on me. There was, several votes out there. And the drama started happening. So what happened was followed by that. The following days, every time I would come online, I would see Tank saying a lot of shit about me in the chat. Him saying a lot of shit, Poetic saying a lot of shit. And I was starting to think, hey, come on, these guys are not the best players around. Most of the dramas that happened in Ace before, Tank was in the middle, for example. Poetic is an ex-cheater, man. What do you expect? We gave him a second chance. I gave him a second chance when he got accepted back to Ace, because he wasn't being accepted for his past, But all right. So they decided to turn around on me, and I felt kind of a coped state, I felt like something was not right there. And it was kind of annoying me how people were treating. And there was Tommy and Kitty Cat, hey, you should be more into the members. And I was like, hey, hold on, there's a lot of stuff to do here. And we just had different positions on how to be a leader on the group. All right, my opinion was I wanted a group that was somehow professional. Of course, it's a game, I know, but I take a game seriously, you guys know that. And I wanted something to be professional, to be good, to be solid, and I was more concerned about creating this solid base, this Ace, what people see as Ace, then as linking members. And it's not about that. If the group is solid, people will stay in the group. They will like the group, and that was my main objective. You can see that by the command forum, for example. And all the situation, all the drama that was creating around it was started annoying me. And well, turns out I decided to bring in this executive order, because before that I spoke with the unit leaders. All right, say, hey, here's the situation, this is what has been happening. They all agreed with me. That what annoyed me. Cyber agreed with me, Kit Kat agreed with me, Tommy agreed with me, and I was there. Flash wasn't this active, but he also agreed about the attitude that Tank was having and Poetic was having as well. So we decided to bring in this to debate. They all agreed. When I brought up the topic on the comment section, they all agreed with it. All right. So what happened was, if you see on the first, if you saw on the first comments, there was everybody on it. They accepted it, and suddenly everything changed. They were all against me. I don't know what happened. There was this. Tommy had his own Discord with it. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be blaming anyone. It's past anyways. But they had their own Discord, which was not Ace Discord. They had their own. But they stuck together. Where Tank was there, I don't know what happened. I know, but turns out everybody was against me after that. And it was now crossifying me, and it was like, hey, hold on, guys. We decided that last week, and now everybody's changed that. So I got sick of it. I was super annoyed with all the shit that was happening. Ace, all the drama. And I somehow felt like, hey, hold on, all the hard work I put into the group. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite here or saying some shit, but if you compare Ace 2014, 2015, I was appointed Ace team leader within 2 months. If 1 month that I was in Ace, all right. Then I created CTU, and you can see that after that, Ace has grown a lot. I'm not even joking. Everybody joined CTU when it was created. And that's how Ace has been happening. I was kind of disappointed on how people treated me back in the day, because they were Poetic, what he was doing. How many times? Let's not be hypocrite here, Rashawn. How many times you wanted to disable him? Tell me. How many times people wanted to disable him? How many times we've seen him? Do you remember that episode on the bank, on the last bank? Bank is closed. Let's shoot everybody that enter here. Do you remember that? You see, he's not the best player around. All right, he's not the best player around. Tank was oh my god, Tank was complicated to handle, right? He was super drama, always bad mouthing people around. I mean, it's complicated, all right. I tend to treat people very nicely on CNR. I really avoid that drama. I really avoid shit. But there's two specific players on CNR that I couldn't care less more. Anyways, which is Tank and Poetic. The both of the two Mexicans I couldn't give a shit anymore. You know, I can't. I mean, Tank has been approaching me the past few days. I mean, I wouldn't even bother to reply him because I don't want to keep in touch with him. I couldn't care less, you know. And there was a situation. They were about to be kicked. I mean, if you see the ACE leaders and the admins that voted on the case, I mean, the majority was winning. So this kind of coup d'etat happened, and they suddenly turned out against me and all that shit. I was like, hey, come on, actually, listen up, do whatever you guys want. I'm withdrawing and move on. And I believe that was the best for all of us. I left Ace, and that was the best for me, and Ace was left there without me, and probably the best for Ace as well. So we all move on, and that's what happened. Actually, that was, of course, there's more details on daily basis that happened that, you know, led to the situation and all that shit. But the main reason was I was sick of how Ace was getting, how the situation was handling, how there was this, you know, small groups being created on a larger group, which was bad. That's bad for groups. And I mean, I decided to move on, decided to leave Ace behind, and they're super happy now, and I'm super happy as well.
So that was the dead is dead factor. You know, I don't know. I mean, this is just how cop groups go. I mean, I guess there was something similar with CUSA, but I'm surprised that I did not know.
Let me guess who was in the middle of the drama at CUSA. Let me guess.
Let me see. Borld.
Tank? Yes or no?
He was part of it.
Yes, obviously. How come he wouldn't be that day in the middle of the dramas? I mean,
there was also Fugazi Fanta, and you know, Princess Kenny, and a whole bunch of other King Icarus, who installed cheats on purpose to get banned. But yeah, you know, cop groups just don't work, man. You know, CUSA didn't work. After a while, I guess I'm speaking on activity. After a while, you know, because, you know, people say, oh, cop is only the press too. But
I don't agree with you, Rashawn. In my opinion, was probably the best group around. It had everything to success, right? What happened was human fails, we all fail, so turns out here's what happened. I mean, the group is not, I'm not sure if the group is active anymore. I've been playing and I haven't seen Ace anymore. I haven't seen the Ace members around. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if it was related. I'm not sure. But at least when I was around, the group was active. You know, there was stuff happening. There was people applying. You know, there was the group was improving itself. And I don't know if it was related. I don't know. But it's kind of sad to see that because I put a lot of effort in Ace. Most of people don't even know that because most of the hard work was made in the background, on the policies, on the procedures that was created, you know, and people had no idea. They had no idea. They only saw the surface of Ace, you know, only what is public. But there was a lot of stuff being made in the background, and Ace was a very solid group, and I really liked what I was doing there. Of course, taking the game seriously, yeah. Sometimes you need to take the game seriously, you know. But I don't agree that all the cop groups have the same fate, Rashawn. It was probably bad luck, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, CUSA, well, first of all, let me say, you know, the AS team hasn't really been that active. A few weeks ago, Music Box has tried to force a resurrection. Shout out to Zelonium right now. I'm not going to answer your request because I'm talking. Thank you. But yeah, you know, the AS team has not been where it has been. You know, the Black Eagles even have not been where they've been. You know, that's a thing with cop groups. You know, civilian-based groups seem to last a lot longer because you can do anything.
I don't know, Rashawn. That's I don't know. I'm not sure because you can see you see civilian groups growing, and they follow from someone that cheats, from whatever reason, and the next day you see that the group on the trash can. I think CNR has this of drama, that happens, and then the group fails, the group falls. In Ace we had a lot of drama scenarios, and we did our best to cover them. At least when I was around, to cover them, to work out the situation. But I mean, there's a moment that you get sick of it, that you get tired of that, and you decide to take your own path. It's like, I kind of agree with Warlord when he says it's best to solo co-op, do your solo co-op working alone, and you work with other good players, but you don't actually need to be in a group or something. Just be active and playing with the other players around, like Warlord or everything, for example, and doing co-op work, but you don't actually need to be part of something solid. And I mean, I was kind of disappointed with all the group shit, and I'm not sure. I'm probably not joining any other group anymore. Just sticking alone, playing, doing my co-op work on my own cheetah, and that's it pretty much.
Yeah, there's always some war type rage associated with cop groups going down. CUSA, well, Vast Team's not dead, but it's not as active. Missy Squad is somewhat of a cop group.
Rejected, or I'm not sure what happened to that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, I've said this on the radio many times. I have no idea what happened to Missy Squad.
Even Black Eagles. I mean, they were our rivals on the battleground on SF. I don't see them anymore. You see Claudio Rossonero playing around with another guy, and that's it pretty much. People. I'm not sure if people move on and they stop playing, or I don't know, they just rather play LS or another city, because I remember when Ace was full and active, whenever SF was online, everybody was in SF. Nowadays there's SF online and some people playing LV, some people playing LS, some people in SF, and it's there's no more this. It's no longer solid.
Yeah, exactly. They usually play individually. I see Claudio Rossonero play by himself with another person, or Subtact do the same thing. So cop groups don't work these days. But there you go. There is the Ass Team. Okay, we're gonna take our first music break after 42 minutes, which is exactly what I planned. We'll be right back.
I talked too much. I apologize.
No, that's perfect. This is the CNR Radio Talk Show. All right, welcome back. This is the CNR Radio Talk Show here with our guest Marcus Weed. Show him you're still here, Weed.
Hello, I'm still there. All right. God, let's roll. What else do you have here, Rashawn?
Yeah, let's roll. So that first segment was longer than, I'm pretty sure, 2 interviews already.
Oh my God.
So, and it's going to be longer. So cut the small talk. Let's get into our sponsor, who is also Marcus Weed. All right, Weed, so let's get back into it, because this is probably going to last a long time. So, all right, so I want to get your view on women for a second. Okay, I'm not going to ask you any objectifying questions like C cup or D cup, because this is not that type of show. But I do remember a moment early in my Ass Team days. But first, I'm sure you and Kitty Catty obviously are cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were cool. We were cool back in the day, yeah.
Good. Okay, so I remember back when you guys had beef, and by the way, I applaud you guys for talking it out, because there are fogs on the server who don't know what that is. Mac, Wisconsin. However, I do remember something along the lines of you saying something like, she isn't fit to lead a unit because she's a woman, or some shit like that, or something like that. Is that even somewhat true? Do you remember that?
Caralho, velho. I don't even remember if I said that. If I say that, it was probably because I was pissed on her, on her attitude. Because I usually try to be fair with women. I mean, they're equals to us. But I don't really. We had a lot of fights, Kid Caddy and I, because we had different positions on Ace. He saw Ace more as a family than a group, like a mom taking over the family, and I was more like taking the group as a group, and she was more worried, like Tommy, more worried about how the members are relating with each other and stuff like that. And I wasn't like that. I was more worried about how the Ace was doing, how Ace was, how was Ace's reputation around. And Ace had a very solid reputation back in the day, back 2016, 2015, if you remember. And
Yes.
if you had a fight or something, I don't remember. It was if I say that, I really don't remember. But if I say that, it was because I was pissed on her because something she did, something he was blaming me for, or some shit ass situation like that. Maybe I believe Tank was in the middle of that as well, as always. All right,
Yes.
the way I remember what happened. There was the situation with Iago, and Tank said some shit, and I roasted him. Followed by that. Even Ricard was there, and I
You mean
was
like how Chuppy roasted Cyber?
Yeah, and and I remember because he was my second in command, and all that shit happened, and then he went cry to her, even though he joined her unit back in after that, So she came in yelling on me, and I pretty much told her to fuck herself about it, and that was about it. And she got super mad. I later apologized her, and we moved on. But it was only this beef that happened. It was nothing. I have nothing against women. I believe they're like us, equals. We are equals, and that's it. It wasn't like nothing, being mean on that point of view, actually.
Oh, good. You cleared that up pretty well. This is like a pattern here with the same people being involved in the.
Yeah, it's sad, but yeah, it happens. I mean, it's this. I don't know. Probably I was the wrong guy on the group. Trying to make a difference, and people are used to their type of groups and families and stuff like that. And I was trying to make something completely different, and maybe I was the one wrong, and I didn't see that. Could be that. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm kind of intimidated when I'm enforcing stuff. Could be my fault as well, but I had good intentions with Ace. I really had, and for the people that saw that, I appreciate it.
Well, since this is turned into a different turn than I expected, I just want to give a cyber tangent because he's the king of tangents. Just want to say and the LB players are going to get mad at this, obviously, because they're LB players, but. I'm just going to say, if the server was population dominated by women, this would be a much better community. And you might say, hey, well, women use more emotion than logic to make decisions. But, okay, but do you think the average CNR fag that says neener dum in chat uses logic too?
Oh, that's the nasty occasional cheater, right? That's Megatronicatron. I mean,
Yes.
Megatronicatron is a lost cause, right? I mean, he's a funny guy. It's really funny. It was challenging. I remember when I first saw him in SF, I was playing with Iago and Daskers and say, hey, that's Megatron. He's the best driver. I'm like, the best driver. And when I started chasing him, he was really good, making those, those turns on all the hills and stuff like that. Caralho, man. But then you saw, hey, come on, this guy's cheating, man. How can he be this super fast? Something's not right here. And turned out he's the cheater. So he kind of lose all the reputation he once had. So it's complicated, but women's taking over CnR, that would be awesome. I mean, more white knightery. I mean, the white knights out there, like you, like Liu Tank, like John, all your guys would be super happy. I mean, yeah, for you guys that don't know, Rashon is hitting on a French girl right now, all right? Angelina, just everybody knows. And this is what's happening right now.
I'm hating on a French girl?
Yeah, you're hitting on a French girl.
Oh, hitting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you that. Okay, so
She
this
made
was
you.
actually...
She made you be on a passenger seat, Rashon. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's bottom of the line, man. I mean, it's something amazing. Only woman can do that to you, man. I mean...
Okay, listen. I was going to say this too, but I deleted it. But okay, so first of all, and this ties into why I don't play with people. So back in the CUSA days, okay, nobody in CUSA could drive. Guess who was always driving the cop tank?
Sean,
Me.
the best driver of CNR.
Yes, I was always driving the cop tank. How many people could drive in CUSA? Like 5. Like 10% of the group could drive. Okay, so after that, I resented all passenger seat cops and was like, "Hey, if you're gonna ask me to play just to sit in my passenger seat all day, then why don't you go kiss my ass? I don't need you." See, this is why I will usually only play with people if they can drive at least sometimes. Okay, and
all right, sure.
whenever I play with Angelina,
It's
she
most of the
usually
time,
wants to
right?
She usually wants to be the one to drive. So I'm like, oh, okay.
All
Gonna be a
right.
passenger for once. So, yeah.
So my question is, Rashawn, do you believe that's happening? I mean, you're in America and she's in France. She's right next to me, all right? I told you to give me the opportunity, but you didn't give me the opportunity. Now she's mine, and I mean, all right, come on, go for it. I mean, what else can I say? And
Oh, well, listen, okay. First of all, Weed, now I would say, hey, I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but I invite these questions. Okay, so first of all, like I said a few weeks ago, just because a guy and a girl, play CNR,
they're friends.
I mean,
All right.
that doesn't mean that there's a behind the scenes thing, I mean, you understand?
So you're telling me that whatever happened between you and Warlord back in the day, it was just friends, and whatever happened between Tank and Kitty Cat and American Gangster and Kitty Cat was only friends. I mean, what are you telling me, Rashawn? I mean, what are you telling me?
Well, nice counter. Difference is with them is that they are bad, and I am better at my craft.
All right.
Okay, because as you can see, who does Kitty Catty play with when she plays CNR? That's right, General Price. So
shout out to General Price, man.
General Price, and I'm very sure General Price has no agenda. Okay.
All right.
So any white knight
doesn't
attempts.
even have FPS. He's not gonna have an agenda, man.
That's a good one. General Price is 12 FPS.
On average, recording 5 depends. I mean,
But yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I knew you would. Because you're a fag. Anyway, so Weed, you have an enterprise built on your rage. Okay, the particular use, murders your players, pause your players, we do rim, Kraivela, all of these, is it?
Yeah.
It's turned into a CNR meme that everyone can participate in. How do you feel that your rage has turned into a meme?
It all started one day that I was super mad that day. I was with Cyber on Discord or Mumble, I don't remember. I think it was back to Mumble days, and I was playing LV, that big mistake, And what happened was I was talking with him. He was playing LS and I was playing LV, and I was sniping a guy. I was right at the end of this main avenue on the strip. Right, I was next to the Four Dragons Casino. I was sniping a guy that was on the top of the Four Dragons, and then suddenly a guy came here, a typical LV nasty player, came here with the chainsaw and killed me for no reason, absolutely. He passed by, saw me sniping, and killed me. Simple. I got super mad that day, super mad. And Cyber is always recording. He's a motherfucker. He's always recording. And turns out he made a video of it. He showed people, and people laughed. After that, I started laughing too, but that day I was super mad. for being killed like that. And I was, sniping the guy, and the guy came with a chainsaw on my back and killed me, and I was super mad. And then all of this started this enterprise that, I don't get a penny of that, but Cyber has put on his videos, and then there's a lot of videos about it. It is amazing. I mean, I laugh my ass when I see that, because sometimes you're watching a video like a Raid My Chase or a random video from everything, and suddenly your rage is there, and it makes sense, because I would be yelling if that was with me, when the Instafix fails and you explode. It's like that, it's funny. I mean, I like that. It's when the moment of the rage, I'm raging, but at the end of the day, I'm laughing, and it's just pure like that. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, blame Warlord, not Warlord, blame Cyber for that. I mean, and you as well.
So it happened in LV, right?
Yeah, the first rage, the original one, happened in LV, obviously. LV, of course,
Full circle. There you go. Like I said last week, everything that happened to me, Mountain Band, whatever. LB.
I remember in Rashad, the Raid My Chase Olympic version.
Yes.
And there was this Born for Birdie chase, and then this Brazilian guy, Matias, shows up right there and says, "Que Brasil, boy!" I was watching that in bed like 7 a.m. when I woke up, and I was like, "Hey!" And then I heard it. It was like I couldn't stop laughing. It was really nice. I mean, all the rages, they're legit, right? They're not, created on the moment. I'm mad when play. You've seen people that played CS with me, they know. But it's not something that I'm gonna kill someone just like that. I take the game seriously, and I rage about it when I die, when shit happens, when someone fucks up, when the instafix fails. It's like that. When your car goes when you hit someone on the bridge and you fall in the water, stuff like that. It amazed me. I got super mad, but it's the game. I mean.
So you do that as a instant way to lower your blood pressure.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. I mean, it's you need to rage, and then you're cool. It's like I just, some people play, they're like that playing. They're playing, they die, and they don't even express emotions. I express emotions. God, sometimes I hit the table, sometimes I yell. It depends on. Mostly, I don't yell in other language, right? I don't yell in French. I don't yell in Spanish. I don't yell in like fuck or something. I don't do that. It has to be natural in Portuguese and porra, caralho, filho da puta, and so on.
See, there you go. All of Weed's rage is genuine, unlike Cyberg's rage in that one CSGO game. I don't think anyone knows what I'm talking about. And I don't remember where it is. Let's see here. So I've got one last major topic. Do you remember the 2016 CnR Awards Numbnuts show?
Yeah, I remember that. I was in the airport actually when the video came out. I was going to France for vacations, and that's this CnR Numbnut shit that came here with Sean, and I was offended by that in the first place, because what was said that was not true, right? And I was like, hey, Sean's blaming me. I mean, I didn't even spoke with Cashman. What are you talking about? It's, some of your sources were failing, and I wouldn't believe if your sources were someone Mexican. But I mean, what else can I say? And I was kind of offended in the first place. I obviously spoke with some people that were my friends. Hey, the awards is there. You should vote or something. But not like, hey, vote on me, and spoke with Cash or something like that. I didn't do that. But I mean, I was very active in 2015. I was very active in 2016, and I guess people liked me on I don't know how I cop work or something, and they voted me like they vote for Sigma for absolute no reason. I mean, they voted on Viktorovic for what? For because they like him, because the LS players like him. It could be, and people voted me as well. I mean. Friends would, friends usually vote on people that they're friends with. Yeah, that's how it is. I know you're against it. I'm against it as well. You should vote for people that actually deserves the category. But I mean, people, that you talk on daily basis, you have some influence. People will vote on you. So when the video came out, I was super mad in first. I was like, caralho, filho da puta, velho. and I couldn't do much because I was, I was going on vacations. But I remember that. I remember how unfair you were on that. I saw you apologize recently on a Wednesday show, and it's okay now. It's you're pardoned, okay?
Yes. After a while, after I uploaded this snit, I was like, well, that was a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Because I don't have concrete proofs as
all right, so you're a fake
PH
news.
players.
Look at you.
Actually PM the person to vote for them as best cop. Now, what sometimes I do, because I know that there are other people who tell people to vote for them in the CnR awards. I'm sure the .fags did that. And sometimes what I do is I take one person
To be
and
the martyr.
Yes, I try to make an example out of them for a subsection of people. So I made you an example for all the fags that PM people to vote for people who tell them to vote for them. This is what I also did in one of the Rate My Chases, the 1995 versus Catherine one, with the Missy squad, because they cop tanked like it was 2012. So I was like, I need to make an example out of one Missy squad member to show the entire group and show all the other cop fags that cop tanks are for fags. But in both situations, I screwed it a bit, because allegedly you didn't ask anyone to vote for you. And in Catherine's case, this was January. I did not really know what type of player she was, besides the Missy Squad cop tank screenshots that I had seen all over the forum.
You did.
So I did in a way shame you both, but obviously I apologized to you, and Catherine saw that it was somewhat of a joke, so fine there.
No, it's fine.
I think I've done that to other people. I can't remember anyone else.
No, I mean, first moment I was like, "Hey, what's Sean talking about?" I was like, but then you see the whole video and you see a lot of shit talking about a lot of people, and you end up taking that as a joke for, like a joke for the awards, not be that seriously, just the votes and the results, and that's it. Something else, and kind of accepted it, but. At the end of the day, Rashawn's fake news, and his sources are not so trustworthy. But
yes, as we know, at least 35% of all CNR news stories are made up or fabricated.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
yes, the biggest fabrication was the Lorder Squad. CNR news is from the middle of June, which got me under a lot of fire for that one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I remember that.
As yes, if you want to know about that, well, go to CNR News, June 8th, 9th, 10th, whatever it is, the donkey the day, whatever. That's it. Let's see here. Well, those were all the topics I had. So when we come back, we're gonna play Guess That Fag with Marcus Weed. Be right back. All right, welcome back, punks, to the CNR Radio Talk Show with Marcus Weed. Sean, you're still here. Weed.
Yes, I'm still here. Hello. Okay, so
shout out to all the fags in Los Venturas right now who are PMing me. I'm getting DM'd. He's aimbotting. Spun me in front of
bought admin.
Sorry, I can't. I'm a bad multitasker, okay? So I can't fulfill your requests. Let's get into our sponsor, though, who is also Marcus Weed. Okay, that was made by Cyberg. 5-second sponsor. Cyberg, who was not here for the show yesterday. What a fag. Oh, 3-second sponsor. Okay, so here we go, Marcus. We're gonna play Guess That Fag.
Guess That Faggot. Oh my god. Terrible on those games, but I mean, let's see what happens.
So here are the rules. So I'm going to give, there are a total of 8 clues. I will give you 1 clue at a time. After that clue, you can guess the player. If you are wrong, we'll go to the next clue. If all 8 clues have been used up and you have not gotten the player, then you will be banned off of CNR for 2 weeks, okay? Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties with the radio.
Porra de rádio, velho.
It was porra de rádio, velho. Puta que pariu. Alright, so we're gonna play Guess That Fag with Marcus Sweet here. Again, I will give him 1 clue at a time. After each clue, he will try to guess that fag. If he gets it wrong, I'll give him the next clue. If after 8 clues he fails to guess the player, then he will be banned off of CNR. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I hope they're SF players because otherwise it's gonna be failure or insta fail. But let's roll.
Alright, time to play Guess That Fag. Alright, clue number 1 for Weed. This player is a majority Los Santos player.
Los Santos
Yes.
player. Caralho, velho. Let's say Konamila.
Konamila, wrong. Second clue, this player is European.
Could be Mateo Kamal or something like that.
Teo Samal, wrong. Clue number 3, he is a prolific robber.
Prolific robber. European prolific robber. I don't know. Fucking LS players, man. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Could be American gangster.
Yes, it is American gangster. Who the fuck are you, though? Alright, I'm gonna give you the rest of the clues. Clue number 4 was his name gives a false indication as to where he's from. Clue number 5 was he is a SAM member. Clue number 6 was he is a scammer. Clue number 7 was he has a weird accent. And clue number 8, you cannot get this wrong. He got carried in CSGO by Bombshell. So GG, Marcus Weed, you guessed American Gangster after 3 guesses.
Good job. For an LS player, I mean, what else can you say? But he's a majority LS player. God, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, he scammed Sunni out of $40 million, bro.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. So you wanted to give a plug about the CnR International Forums, Nick? Huh?
Yes. It's a good opportunity to, bring it to light. So we are doing a project mostly for the regular players out there listening. If you're interested in first place, there's a topic on the regular player section, which is the project. And it consists of gathering regular players from all around because CNR itself is international. You can see, I mean, I'm Brazilian, now living in France, and I have Rashon, people from all around. And we're doing our best to make CNR the best environment for people that has problems with English. So we're doing an international board. It has been approved by the admins already. And now we are in the process of translating a lot of CNR related stuff and creating some specific guides to be translated as well. So we are recruiting volunteers that speaks English in another language. Could be Filipino, could be Urdu, could be, whatever. and everyone is welcome to join the project, and should be happening very soon, as soon as the forums get upgraded, or new forums, I'm not sure. But we're gonna have these boards, and everyone is welcome to join us, and we're doing our best to create this environment for people that has problems with English, especially in understanding the rules, understanding how to play, instead of just throwing them in the bonfire like fucking merda de Borat. And we're doing our best to create this environment, and help people around. So if you're interested, you can go to the regular players section, and you're gonna and and I left and I left
Discord
bad.
malfunction.
And so yeah, if you're interested, you can talk to me in private on the forums, or you can go there to the topic and read more about it. That's it. That's the CnR International Board project, and I have a lot of people already, a lot of regulars, good regulars. A shout out to Cool and Hat, James, Evangelist. They're helping out a lot, and all the other translators. I mean, Ali is terrible because he even sent his translation yet, and he's doing some credit. And even Warlord is trying to get his redemption. From all his scenes from the past, he's doing his contribution to Tagalog, right? That's what P8 people. That's what you guys say. So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting project, and I'm gonna hope to see a lot of people, participating and helping around.
Yes, there you go. Since CNR is becoming more international and the refugees from Europe have come into the circle, if you are one of those fags that speaks another language, feel free to hit Marcus Sweet up and make the experience of CNR easier for all the other Europeans. Okay, so they can read it in their own language. All right, so there we go. That was Marcus Reed. We could be here for 5 hours, but that is all we got. So next week we are not going to have Snit because Ali is taking a trip to Iceland. He's gonna try.
You're gonna freeze there and peace.
He's
And
gonna
then
go
we won't have shows anymore. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Ali's gonna get stuck. He's gonna get frozen, and in
freezing?
2 weeks we don't know where he is. He'll get abducted by Icelandic people with 20 letters in their last name. Yeah, I mean, but there you go. Marcus Swede was excellent. Over 1 hour interview. This was Baus.
Good job.
A lot of clarity was put into this show.
Yeah.
So
What about the player questions?
Porra, Sean.
Oh,
Caralho,
certo.
velho. Porra, Sean.
Porra,
Caralho,
Sean.
velho.
Porra, Sean.
Tá tirando a equipe aqui, velho. Porra, Sean.
Oh, well,
Porra,
look at
velho.
this. Rashawn is a noob.
Rashawn,
oh
porra,
no,
velho.
what a
Terrible.
noob.
Look at this. Terrible, man.
Terrible
This
host.
guy's
You are
terrible.
a terrible host. My goodness. Okay, before we get into the questions, though, we'll have one last music break. So kiss my
There's no
ass.
more
This is the CNR Radio
I mean-
Show. Okay, welcome back. This is going to, for sure, be the last segment of the CNR Radio Talk Show review here with Marcus Swede. I completely overlooked the questions, all right? So we're going to cut that out of the video so it
Terrible.
never happened. All right.
Terrible. Terrible, Sean.
Let's get into our sponsor, who is also Marcus Swede. All right, so I thought the show was over because over the past few guests there have been under 7 questions. So I'm like, oh well, that's it. But no. Okay, so let's start with questions here, from foggiest questions to better questions here.
All right.
First question here from Igly17.
All right. Albanian question related. Let's
Albanian
see.
question. Okay, 3 of these 4 questions are very bad. 2 of them are very bad, sorry, so I'm going to skip 2 of them. What's your opinion about version 24? Do you like the new features?
When version 24 came out, I was a bit shocked with the decisions they they made on this enhancement on the vehicle armor and the tires, because I am myself a solo cop, right? And I was like, caralho, velho, it's gonna be way more challenging, you know, because sometimes it's challenging already to fight a guy, you know, if he is a good guy, he's gonna run around on the exhumers, you know, getting insta fix, you know, all that. It's challenging already, and I think it's gonna be way too challenging, but it turns out it's amazing. I like it. I like, especially because they fucked up the cop tanks. You can buy only one insta fix, so I didn't really care about the Hitman related changes because I don't give much shit about it, but I was more concerned about how those changes were going to influence the cop environment. And turns out it's okay. I mean, it can get used. Not everybody is prepared always. Not everybody has the car with the tires with, you know, like a super Infernus with the armor and the tires. No, it's just some group of people that are actually good and challenging already, so it's going to be a bit more challenging. But I'm looking forward to those changes, and I think they're very nice. They're very nice changes, and well, rip cop tanks. I mean, what else can I say?
Yeah, rip cop tanks.
But on the other hand, I have the Sultan with 4 people, and I mean, and it's complicated when you have this Sultan with civilian. The civilians are nasty now, because when they want to fuck around, they get on the Sultan or something like that, and they, you know, tuning the Sultan and get in the armor, get the bulletproof tires, and you're gonna have some trouble fighting them. But at the end of the day, it's challenging. It's a nice update in my opinion. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's more challenging, but it's fine. It's pretty bouse, you know. See if you're a sports car cop.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you have 1,500 vehicle health, you do not have to be scared about using your car as a weapon.
Not really.
So
for lag pitting, for whatever, yeah.
You can go for an ultra risky lag pit. Even if you miss, you're still fine. You know, you might lose all that bonus vehicle health, but you're still fine.
Still in one piece, yeah, indeed.
Exactly. Instead of going from 1,400 to 1,100, I'm sorry, instead of going from like 700 to 400, you go from 1,400 to 1,100. So you
have a chance in the fight, yeah.
Exactly. You know, and for bikes, well, you know, just lag pit them. You know, that's all you gotta do. I lag pitted some fag yesterday, 2 days ago. 'Cause I was chasing him. He called me a noob cop, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this faggot now, because he's one of those bike stunter warrants, you know, those
that go up to the buildings in SF, you know, next to the Mint. Those nasty stunts, they're fucking annoying, man. I don't like those stunters. They're terrible, man. Chasing them is a waste of time, but I mean,
yeah, sometimes, yeah, especially around Flint County too. They just go up the hill. It's fucking game, man. And then they go into the train tracks. We went to the train tracks, and I'm like, okay, I turn my nos on, about to own this fat guy did. And he says, "You are fucking noob admin," and he quits. So that's how you take it to bike warrants there. That's how you do it.
Although if you're fighting people like Titty and Jackie, be careful, because they're nasty. They're, you know, they're there for the fight and they're not giving up. So, I mean, that's yes. Challenging, but you know, 2 guys.
I made an entire guide to try to get Titty Boy and Jackie. That lasted about 6.5 minutes. About a week ago, I was like, hey, full circle, playing with Angelina, right? And we were like, hey, let's go attack Titty Boy and Jackie. And I was like, I was so confident. Gonna take down Titty Boy and Jackie. It's gonna be FCR versus FCR. There's no way Titty Boy and Jackie gonna take me down, take us down. You know what I mean? Who cares about insta fixes? Who cares about vehicle repair kits? I'm gonna use every part of that guide I made to take down Titty Boy and Jackie and arrest them and kill them. But it didn't work. Yeah. And see, it could have worked, but I had no adrenaline pills. I was typing /AD, and it said, "You're not carrying an adrenaline pill." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my god, that's a rookie mistake, man. That's a rookie mistake. You know, you need to have something to back you up. Come on, man.
Yes, I gotta go to Call of Duty for that one because I carried no adrenaline pills. Oh no!
What a
What a
noob.
noob! What a noob! Let's see here. Last relevant question from Igley17. What's going on in Brazil? Very broad question there.
Brazil is complicated. Brazil is full of corruption. The past government we had was terrible and very corrupt, and people didn't prove it. So people went to the streets, asked more from their politicians, from the judges and stuff like that. And well, this guy Dilma got over. She got an impeachment, and her vice president took over, which is this actual guy, which is a piece of shit as well. He's terrible. And I mean, he was her vice president, so you can expect much about him. But I'm glad because Lula, I think everybody knows Lula. He got arrested for corruption and stuff like that because his party and everybody was super corrupt. And I'm expecting to see all of them in jail, to be honest. Brazil is there. They have this judge, and he's doing a lot of shit for this operation against corruption there. So I'm really excited to see the results of that. I've seen a lot of people in jail. I mean, there are a lot of people in jail already, and I need to see the heads of the snake in jail as well, like Lula, all those piece of shit motherfuckers. And I mean, Dilma was the ex-president, and she was a communist back in the day. She was, fighting for Cuba, and it's on this level, Russian. It's super complicated. I just hope to see better days for Brazil. If everybody's wondering, that wasn't the only reason why I left Brazil, but I mean, Brazil is complicated, and I like Brazil, but well, corruption is everywhere, but in Brazil it's over. I just hope for a better president in next year, and we'll see what happens.
There's only one thing to say.
Although we are not in like Venezuela, though, they're not exploding the cities and Molotovs everywhere. It's not like on this level, right?
You're gonna make Jay Daniel mad, man.
No, Jay Daniel is complicated. Jay Daniel is I like Jay Daniel, to be honest. I mean, he's a terrible player. He has a lot of shit on him, but he's funny. Oh my god, Jay Daniel.
Well, I don't know. I mean, whenever you listen to Jay Daniel for the first time, I mean, I haven't heard his voice in like 2 years, but just his old voice and his autism that you cannot peel away from your brain. I'll tell you that. All you can say those are keep a zupo.
I mean, when we had this Mumble list for autism, he was the second one, right? I think he was the second one. On the list.
He was the second. Yeah, he was the queen of autism. Lucas was the king of autism.
Oh yes, Lucas is. I mean, is Lucas still alive? I mean,
I don't know. Probably in rehab still. I have no idea.
God damn.
He gone though.
Rip in peace.
He was the heart and soul of IRC, man. I tell you.
No, I have Bimuka nowadays. Have these new people, crazy driver. They're still around. So.
Oh, don't get me started. Anyway, questions here by Jay Daniel. Sorry. First question he asks: how did you learn Spanish, Mr. Weed?
Spanish. My grandma, she was Spanish, and I grew up listening her speaking, and she would speak this sort of Portuguese mixed with Spanish. So I pretty much got used to Spanish words, on my daily basis. And Portuguese and Spanish, they're really close to each other. And I mean, I don't speak good Spanish, but I do my best. And I mean, I haven't studied it, but I don't know, it's kind of, I believe I speak like my grandma, a mix of Portuguese. Sometimes I'm speaking Spanish and a word or two is missing for me. There's some difference on words on Portuguese and Spanish. But in general, I believe if I speak Spanish, people can understand me, So that's good. I mean, I say Spanish is probably my third language, and as long as people can understand me, and there's not this super bored speaking Spanish, I think I'm fine. I mean, I can keep up a conversation in Spanish, that easy.
Yes, Giants, the Spaniard, and Giants and
Spaniard.
Marcus Weed, remember?
Yeah.
Spantard, yes. Remember a few weeks ago they made a baby and named it Javier Navarro. Yes.
Oh yeah, there was this meeting in Spain. Mad James. Yes.
Oh boy. I tell you, if you have to meet Kyle Smith for your first CNR meetup, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was complicated. The situation of the meeting was I was going to Europe for vacations in November, and I was going to Spain and then France. And I was talking to my sister about what we are gonna do while I was in Spain, besides visiting the city where I was staying. And she said, we can go somewhere. We can go to Barcelona. We can go somewhere else, and a park or something. And I came up to James and said, hey, James, where do you live? I said, I live in Zaragoza. And so I think I may go to your city. Should we meet up? Would you like to meet up? And we kind of agreed on that. And then we got this somehow sorted. And then Kyle Smith kind of jumped in, and we accepted it. Come on, Kyle, come as well, and that's it. And he did. He booked the flight and he was ready. And I'm like, caralho, man, let's go. I mean, and then he did. He came as well, and it was nice to meet those people. They're a very nice person in real life. Just like Jace is probably my, I would say, best friend on CNR. I've known him since 2011 or so when he started playing. And then we've been talking since 2015 when I came back, and he's a really nice guy. And it was very nice. It was a nice experience to meet people in real life, people you only hear on Mumble, on Discord, or whatever. And it's a nice experience, to be honest. And and Kyle Smith showed up as well, so he was very welcome. We stuck it around. We had some drinks, talked a lot about a lot of shit, and it was a nice experience as well.
Well, there you go. That is the CNR meetup in Spain.
Yep.
You see a guy in game like an age boss. He asked if you have ever gone to Portugal, and have you seen Conamela?
I've been to Portugal back in November when I was coming back to Brazil. I had this gap on my flights. It was like 8-hour gap. So what I did was I was on Lisbon, and what I did was visit the city, but I believe Conamila lives in Porto, which is somehow close to Lisbon, but not this close. But no, I haven't met Conamila in real life, but I've been to Portugal, yeah. And just for you guys out there, Brazilian Portuguese and Portugal Portuguese, they're different. I'd say Brazilian Portuguese is way better than Portugal Portuguese. Portugal Portuguese is terrible. The accent is terrible. It's nasty, but I mean,
shout out to Conamela.
Shout out to Conamela and the puta kid,
You see here, Jay Daniel's second question is very gay, so I'm not going to dignify it. I think he was trying to make a joke. He was trying to get me to ask you this question, make it seem gay, but Gay Daniel, I'm one step ahead for you. I'm one step ahead from you. You're faggot. Okay, so you're a faggot. Let's see here. Let's go with Cyber here.
Cyber has questions. Oh my god. Rip in peace.
Yes, his first question we already talked about. So question 2, why are you no longer playing CS Joke?
Because it's a joke. I mean, no. All right, so here's what happened. CS Joke, it's complicated, right? Because as I said, I take games seriously. And when you're playing CS Joke, you're playing competitive, right? So what's the point of competitive play? To compete, play, seriously. And when you play with CNR players like Rashawn, Cyber, Blackhawk especially, you're going to fail. You're going to lose because they're terrible. You play with Blackhawk and he's going to stick around on a corner with a Zeus waiting for someone to pass. Rashawn is complicated. Rashawn is terrible. He was on the bottom of the score most of the time. 4-16, man. Come on, look at this. Look at this.
First of all,
I mean, and Cyber is general trolling. Sometimes he's playing nice, sometimes he's trolling, and it depends. So it's complicated. I gave up on CS Joke. I think the only two guys that saves from us that play here would be probably Warlord and everything. That's all. because the other guys here, they're terrible. I don't know about Rashawn, but Rashawn, I've never played with you, Ali. What are you talking about? All right, there we go.
First of all, I am never on the bottom of the
What are
scoreboard.
you talking about?
Second of all, this game that you're talking about was on Nuke. All right. Somebody had the smart idea to go play Nuke in its new
Yes.
state.
Black Hogwarts idea.
Yes, Nuke is a terrible map. It is now a niche map. And if you don't know the places now, then you stink. And that was a bad idea.
416 Rashawn. Come on, man.
Listen, I should be in Gold Nova. I'll just tell you that.
I started Gold Nova 3, all right? And after playing with those guys here, I know because I wouldn't play CS Joke alone. It's not funny. It's funny to play with your friends, but I wish you guys take the game seriously when you're playing competitive. But you guys don't. It's just not happening. And I got demoted to what silver. What's that silver master thing? Is I don't even know.
Elite Master. Yes.
Silver. No, I was one below it. It was silver 4. I have no
Silver
idea.
2.
I don't know. It's terrible. I'm terrible. I'm not this bad on FPS games, for you guys wondering. I'm usually an average player, but CS Joke is terrible. CS Joke is terrible. Playing with these guys here, they're terrible. Don't play with them, man. You're gonna waste your time. You're gonna get mad because they're there for jokes, for trolling. So don't play CS Joke.
Yes, don't play CS Joke. That's the simple thing. Okay. Let's see here. Last question here from Cyberga. What do you prefer, Battlefield 1 or Rainbow Six Siege, or Call of Duty?
I'm an FPS player. I really like the FPS games, but I got kind of disappointed. I expected more from Rainbow Six, to be honest, and it gets boring from the time. So I kind of gave up on Rainbow Six. The Call of Duty series, I pretty much like the Modern Warfare series. I like the World at War, the Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Black Ops and shit, and Advanced Warfare shit. All of that is super shit. So right now, I would say my favorite game is probably Battlefield 1. I like the game. I like it. I like the graphics. I like the gameplay. I like it's a nice game. It's a really nice game. And I mean, my last squad disbanded. I even got a Medal of Honor, right, the Warlord. And I mean, my squad disbanded. I moved to France, and the squad was gone. But right now I'm recruiting, people for the squad, because playing alone is kind of sad on FPS game. But I mean, Battlefield 1 is my favorite game right now. It's just awesome to play. It's funny, and I mean, better than Rainbow Six, I believe.
GG World War One Simulator. Let's see your next question. One from Jen. He asks, Jen, the one who plays with Z4K, the LB5.
What Brisfield said? It's like the
The silent M. Yeah.
the silent M, yeah. All right, Zen. I call him Zen, okay, but Jen.
Let's see here. He asks, what is your favorite dish?
I believe you guys know what stroganoff is, right? That's universal.
Yeah, beef stroganoff. I can.
That's probably my favorite dish. I could eat that every day and would not get sick of it. And it's probably my favorite. It's not even Brazilian, not even the Brazilian food, like all that shit you guys see on feijoada. I don't like that. Like Cassie said on her interview, I don't like that. I'm more into stroganoff. It's probably the best dish I have. It's amazing.
Never had that.
Well, you should. It's 10 out of 10.
I guess that's why the CnR player took it.
No, his name is Dragonov or something.
Let's see here. Let's. Oh no! What a noob. Now let's go to Borald's questions here. Gonna skip over Ali for now. First question from Boral. What age did you enlist in the army?
I joined in Brazil the enlistment. The enlistment is mandatory for everybody that makes 18. That doesn't mean you're going to serve. In my case, I enlisted at the age of 18. That's 3 years ago. And that's 4 years ago now because I turned 22. But I enlisted on the age of 18, and I volunteered myself to serve pretty much. So that's it. 18 is the year I joined the Brazilian army.
18 now, that means that Belmiro hasn't gotten there yet, huh?
Yeah, probably. Not Belmiro or Fred Killer, and I think Iago just got past that, but he didn't serve. But those guys are still there. They're not on that age yet.
Right. Let's see here. Question 2 from Bold. He wants to know your workout habits. Do you work out? What is your workout routine to maintain your round shape?
Before I joined the military in 2013, when I decided to join, my workout schedule was, 2013 was the year that I got, I finished high school in 2012. In 2013 was the year that you don't do shit. I didn't directly go to the college because I wanted to be in the military. So my routine was kind of waking up like 6 a.m., going to the beach because I live in the beach. Go for running for about an hour or something, and then go back home, had breakfast and stuff like that, and then run again at the end of the afternoon, like 5 p.m. or so. Nowadays, even though in the military in the first year as a recruit, we have a lot of workout to do, a lot of PT to do, and I did that. I mean, we had some day that we've been running for an hour, over an hour. It's terrible, but I'm not a guy that do a lot of workout. I just do the basics to stay somehow healthy, And nowadays, what I do pretty much, sometimes I go out for running on the mountain here where I live. Sometimes I go for a long walk, like those kilometers walk that we have here. A lot of trails here, but nothing like routine or something. Sometimes I just don't do shit, but I do my best to stay at least healthy, not good shape, not fucking, but on good health, yeah.
Well, there you go. For all the Americans, for John out there, I hope you took notes. Okay. Let's see, I gotta bounce around World's questions here because about 10, 15 minutes, I gotta rip. So let me see, bounce around here. Oh, let's see, here's a Wildlands type question here. Have you ever fired a mortar shell? Or as Ali says, mortar?
Yeah, I know what a mortar is, yeah. No. My MOS, I don't know if you guys know what MOS means. It means military occupational specialty, and my MOS was communications in the army. So I didn't do that. I was an infantry. I was serving in an infantry battalion, but I was an infantryman. I was in the communications, so no mortar firing. But I can say my best experience was in the favelas. I've been to the favelas, and well, I mean, Warlord keeps asking me the count list for death list, that how many people I've killed. I've never told anyone, but I'm not gonna tell either. But rip in peace, Warlord.
Let me see here. How is civilian life in real life serving you now?
It's really complicated to adapt back again because I was used to this military routine, waking up early, getting stuff done, PT, stuff like that every day, shaving every day and getting, always your bed super ready, everything like that. And back to the civilian life, you see some kind of things, some kind of attitudes of people, and you don't understand them, because when you're in the army, when you're in your barracks or stuff like that, you always see, the bed's always done, And when you're back to the civilian life, it's complicated. Civilians are civilians, it's just nasty. Civilians are nasty on CnR in real life, Even though I'm a civilian right now, I'm a reservist, I still can lose some habits, like getting my hair cut. I always have my hair cut, and I'm always shaved, because not only because that's military, but because of that's for health. That's, you need to be presentable. You need to be taking care of your health in general. That's what people say. but it's complicated, the civilian life. I mean, there are some behaviors that you can't accept. It's just, civilians being civilian, like CnR. It's like I always say, Rashawn, when you're on CnR and you see a group of 4 civilians, 3, 4, 5, you see some shit's gonna happen. It's like that always. Someone's gonna fart, someone's gonna do some shit, and that's how it works. I mean, civilians are nasty. It's complicated to be a civilian. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be a civilian for too much longer, to be honest.
Yes, for people with the PH tag or for LBDMers.
No, they don't even have to be the PH tag, Rashawn. Civilians in general, I mean, you step out of the PD, all right, SFPD, for 3 minutes, stay there watching. You're gonna see people getting out of the jail, then you're gonna see robbing, you're gonna see raping, you're gonna see a lot of shit happening in 20 seconds, So civilians are nasty. I mean, civilians are complicated. I mean, sometimes I observe them and I'm like, caralho, de civilians, puta que pariu, velho.
Let's see here. Well, that answers World's civilian questions here. These next 2 questions are very, very interesting. Okay.
All right.
What is your take on homosexuality?
Oh my God. Caralho, velho. No, you gotta prepare for 20 minutes on this. It's complicated, Rashawn. I mean, I myself, I have a very strict point of view on a lot of things, even political things. And in my opinion, homosexuality, it's not natural. It's not natural. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the homosexuals nowadays. I completely respect them. But if you ask me, is that normal? No. Science, I'm not the only one saying that. Science says that, all right? You have XX and XY, all right? And they are different, It's simple as that, man. I mean, there's, if you can be all the way, you can pretend to be homosexual, you can say whatever you want. But it's not natural in terms of what is natural. It's not natural. It's some kind of it's not natural. It's like that. I mean, I myself respect people. All right, you can do whatever you want with your life. You can, if you want to, have sex with men, you can do that. If you want to, it's up to you. But pretend it to be natural is not natural. It's more like social behavior. Actually, it's more like that. Even though back in the day, on the fucking Romance age, on people say the Athenians were super gay. I don't care. But if you tell me that's natural, no, it's not natural. I'm sorry, but no.
No,
They can't exactly, Ali. I mean, you can have. I mean, what would happen if everybody was gay? Let's make a super bad situation here, but imagine everybody from now on, everybody's gay. All right, nobody makes relationship with each other. What would happen to the human race? I mean, it's a super exaggerated example, but if everybody was gay, that would represent a threat to our species. It's not normal. It's not normal to be that. You can be that because nowadays it's fine. It's 21st century, all right. But in terms of what's natural and not natural, it's not natural. My opinion. You can blame me. You can call me homophobic. I don't care, man. I'm very honest. I respect people like Music Box. He's a good friend of mine, but. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. That doesn't mean his sexual options doesn't define him, But in terms of what's natural and not natural, no, it's not natural. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were joking, wasn't it?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking with those shit. I mean, it's complicated, but it's not natural.
Well, I will tell you, if everyone on the planet suddenly became gay. Then what business would be booming, right?
No.
Surrogates. Surrogate mothers, yes. Then again, they might not want it to happen anyway. But yeah, surrogates. Let's see here. Next question from World. What is your take on marijuana?
All right, so that's complicated. That's a very complicated subject for me in special. I've been in the military and I've been to the favelas fighting drug dealers. All right, I've been in the favelas fighting drug dealers in Rio de Janeiro. Everybody knows about Rio. You've played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You saw the favela. It's like that. Of course, they don't have RPGs, but and it's complicated. I mean, drugs are not legal. They're not legal in Brazil, and I was in the military, and I enforced that. I mean, as long as it's not legal, I'm gonna enforce them. I see drugs as drugs. They are not good. They're not healthy. I don't care if you say it's relaxing, if it takes you to Wonderland. I don't give a shit about it. I'm very strict on drugs in general. I don't stand for any kind of drugs. Any kind of drugs, there are drugs for a reason. All right. I know because I have tobacco and have alcohol, blah blah blah. All right, they're not good as well, but they're not this. I mean, we're gonna compare alcohol to fucking cocaine, man. Come on. You see, gonna go to crack or whatever, I mean, no, Ali. No.
You know what's funny about this is that
Ali.
Ali is arguing with Marcus Sweet, but nobody can hear him.
Ali. Oh, I sounded very weird now because I'm speaking.
Can I
Ali.
argue?
No, Ali. The situation is complicated
Okay.
because, I mean, drugs. Marijuana is the first drug that opens the doors for heavy druggers. You can ask anyone. Someone's doing cocaine. No. Someone's doing cocaine. You can
It
ask where
gives
he
you
started.
money though.
He started in fucking marijuana.
If you legalize marijuana, it gives you money.
No, I don't care about the money, man.
And you need the money.
Yeah, what would happen
Establish the
to
government.
drug dealers? Tell me. I mean, they're gonna still sell them. You're gonna if you have legal drugs that you can buy on the store for $20, but you have that fucking drug dealer that is selling for 15. Where are you gonna buy? The legally? No, man.
If you legalize
Those are
marijuana,
drugs for a
hire
reason.
the
You can
drug
control them.
dealers
You can
to work.
stop smoking whenever you want. Look at Rashomon. He says, "No, I don't. I smoked once and then I'm good." And this is bullshit. This is the bullshit I ever heard. I mean, no, I just don't stand for drugs, and I believe. I mean, I saw a response from Prestige here, and I lost my concentration for a moment. But I mean, drugs are complicated. I'm an anti-drug person myself, and you guys know me, and I've been fighting the favelas for that. I had a colleague of mine that died for that shit for drug dealers, and I don't stand for that. I don't stand for marijuana. I don't stand for any kind of drug, regardless of how severe they are and what kind of impact they make. They all make impacts. You can see the Brazilians buy marijuana because it's the cheapest one. All right, but if it wasn't the cheapest one, if cocaine was the cheapest one, people would buy cocaine. All right, that's simple as that. They are addicting. They are not good for health. They're terrible, and whatever you can bring all those American studies about shit, about like Assassin bringing the studies about marijuana that they're good for people. No, man, that's terrible.
Dude, I'm not saying it's good, but you can compare them to fucking cocaine and
No, you can
Those are class
compare them to
A.
drugs. They're all drugs. They're on the same category. They fall in the same
No.
Who makes
Okay.
them to be drugs?
Stop
Who makes
looking
them
at it
who,
in a
who
medical-
brand them as drugs? Who does that? Governments. Who doesn't want to?
All right, you're like those kind of guys that believe in Illuminati and stuff like that. Right? I can get your point here.
It's simple.
Oh
Why
my
do they
God.
allow the fucking drink to be fucking what you call illegal? It kills a lot of
Ali,
people. Why would
Ali,
they
tell
do
me one thing. What's the point of smoking that shit that is mixed with fucking let's call it again that fucking animal that animal shit? All right.
What?
It is
What are you
smoke?
talking about?
Yeah,
animal
because
shit?
it's a drug. It's a fucking drug. It's mixed
What?
with shit. Yeah, it's mixed with shit.
We're talking
Yeah,
about
and you
the-
smoke that,
we're
right?
talking
I mean,
about
what's the
shit.
point
Dude,
of no,
okay,
Ali,
stop looking at it in a
Walnut,
medical
Walnut, say that.
perspective.
What's the capitalism perspective? I mean, you're gonna say
The
it's good
economic
for taxes.
perspective.
Point of-
Yes, it's
What's
good
the
for
point
taxes.
of drinking? What's the point of
So
drinking
you put
alcohol?
no. So Warlord is the type of guy that put people's health on taxes, right? I mean, fuck people's health. Let's get money. I mean, no. Drugs are not legal.
It's about money, man.
No. I mean, drugs.
So
marijuana
does
is
more damage.
look.
Let me tell you
Marijuana is
something.
probably
Let me tell you
the
something.
most soft drug, all right? But it's still a drug. It's still addictive. It's still bad. It opens door for further drugs. You go to a rave. You go to
Nah, you're
those
wrong.
nasty
You're wrong.
clubs, and you start with marijuana, and you'd end up with ecstasy.
You're talking like the news, like fake
No,
news
man.
and
I'm
stuff,
sorry,
you know?
but
You're talking like that.
no. I'm. That's my point of view, Ali. I mean,
Dude.
I've been on the favela fighting the drug dealers, man. I can't stand for drugs. I'm sorry, but I can't.
Yes,
You
I know.
you-
You're right. You're right.
you can
At
do
the
whatever
I
you
know
can smoke,
drugs
you
are
can-
bad. Drugs are bad, but what I'm saying is, tobacco does more fucking damage than marijuana does. A drink does more damage than marijuana does. You know, that's what I'm saying. They're all drugs. I know they're all drugs. Even tobacco is a fucking drug.
I agree with you. Tobacco is terrible
Yeah,
as
they're
well. I
all
agree
bad.
with you.
I mean, don't put them in categories and stuff. They all bad, but what I'm saying is, why are these fucking alcohol and stuff legal, but drugs are illegal? I mean, I'm not talking about cocaine and stuff, because they're chemical, but marijuana is fucking herb. It's just like a flower or something.
Hey, Ali, can you turn your mic up, please? If you can.
Talk?
Yes, up.
Ali, I'm sorry, but you can give your point of view. I can give mine. All right. And my point of view is
Yeah, you're right.
what I've been there. I've been fighting those people, you know. You get those kids getting into drugs, you know, severe drugs, all right? Crack. Can you see a kid 15 years old into crack, man? That's terrible. And how did that kid started? Mostly
I mean,
because of marijuana, because
you
marijuana
can't
is the
compare-
first drug you give to people to try out. It's okay, marijuana.
Dude,
And then
it
the next
depends
day
on
the kid is
circumstances.
dying there.
Dude,
from
it
all the
depends
drugs,
how
man.
they've been raised. Dude, I started smoking marijuana from fucking 17 years old. I'm 29 now.
You're still
Have
into
Do I
marijuana.
smoke fucking crack? Do I smoke heroin or something?
All right, you could be the exceptionally. You could be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There are exceptions. People
Right,
are
but
not saying.
there are a lot of
they
people
raise
that
in
has
a
been
different
to shit
circumstance.
situations because of marijuana, because it's the cheapest one. I mean,
Dude, that's not the cheapest. Cheapest is heroin. Do you know that? Heroin is the cheapest ever. Cocaine is the fucking expensive.
I don't think weed is a gateway drug. Weed.
Yes, it's not.
I'm not into. I mean,
You
it's
are
like someone
about
said
drugs are
here.
bad.
You can be either pro drugs and because you use them, or you can be anti drugs. It's just like
But
that. I mean,
the
I've
point
never
is right.
been into drugs, none of them, and I don't know. They're terrible. They're not healthy. I'm gonna smoke a joint here and feel okay. What's the point of that? I mean, tell me,
You're
Ali,
right,
what's
you're
the point
right.
of
It's just
that?
like a drink, man.
No,
It's
no,
just like
tell
a
me.
drink.
Tell me what's the point of that? I mean, you're
What's the
gonna
point
get
of
high
drinking?
for what? Gonna
What's
get
the
high?
point of drinking? Have you ever
smell
drank?
like shit because marijuana smells like shit?
Dude, have you ever drank before?
Caralho, velho.
Ever drank?
If I ever drunk before, yes, I've
So
I've drunk
what about the day after you feel hangover? You're like, oh my god, I feel like shit. That's the same shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're gonna be on this debate for hours because it's just like that. I mean, I respect your opinion, but I also stand for mine, and
No,
I'm
I accept
this
your
anti-drug
opinion
man.
because
I'm
you say
anti-drug
drugs are
person.
bad, which is correct. You know, they're all bad.
They're
But what I'm
bad.
saying is, compared
There
to
are
alcohol,
bad drugs out there. Yes, I believe
Yeah, bad
alcohol
drugs
is also
are, yeah.
bad. Yes, it's also bad. Tobacco is also bad.
yes, definitely.
Why they are legalized or not, that's not up to me. That is not up to us. It's up to the Illuminati government that controls her. But
I think one day we should have a punkery show of weed and Ali
Yes,
talking
definitely.
about marijuana, and that'll be the only topic because I know that this will.
it's
I will
can go pretty
definitely
far.
talk
Yeah.
about it for hours.
I'm just gonna reply here to Prestige. I mean, a moment here. He said, "I have a closed mind on terms of homosexuals." It's like I said, I respect them as human beings. I respect them as person. I have friends that are homosexuals, but when it comes to if it's natural or not natural, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not natural. It's a type of behavior. It's a behavior. It's pretty much a behavior, people who are born like that could be, but there's no proof on that.
I agree
So,
with Marcus.
it's just like that. I mean, what I said about this example, it's like I said, it was an exaggerated example. And if everybody was gay, what would happen? There would be no more kids. There would be nothing like that. So, but I really respect people, so don't worry about it. But when it comes to naturally, it's not natural. I'm sorry.
I mean, if it was, God would have fucking put two male in the fucking earth. Why would I do that?
No, I mean, Christige asks me, well, how do I define what's natural? It's simple, all right? That's the human life. Really,
Well, let me
really
explain.
example.
There's
No,
a
no,
hole.
hold on,
There's
Ali.
a fucking thing that goes in the hole.
No, hold on,
That's
Ali.
What's
Ali,
natural?
hold on. The human life is very simple. You are born, all right. You grew up. You reproduce. Have a kid. You die. That's a basic cycle of life, all right? Regardless of what you do, if you're a YOLO person or regardless, that's the basic human life. And what's natural is if you break one of those patterns, I mean, it's not natural to. I mean, you can be as homosexual as you want, but you can tell me that's natural. It's not. I'm sorry.
Yep, you're right. I agree with you.
Well, I would put an opinion, but we don't need any more of an opinion on that one.
I know you're a pro drugs, Rashawn. Don't worry about it. We all know your scenes.
No, I am not pro drugs as a whole, a broad whole. But I think
you're just pro
weed
marijuana.
is fine. Yes, marijuana is fine. Heroin is not good. Meth is not good. Tobacco is not good. Excessive alcohol is not good. Okay. Marijuana
is good.
Fine.
So, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, get high. Yeah. Okay. I mean, what else?
Let's get high like Wiz Khalifa.
Still, excessive marijuana is bad too.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not like that. I mean, I'm glad you guys are not past marijuana. Okay, you guys out there that smokes weed, because there are a lot of people that smokes weed on CnR, But I'm glad you guys haven't moved forward like Lucas moved forward to other drugs. All right, I'm really glad for that, and I hope you guys, if you're into drugs, you stay on marijuana and die on that, because if you move forward, that's a one-way trip, man.
Dude,
you either end up in jail
don't
or
know
end
your
up
limits.
dead.
Don't go to drugs or alcohol. Know your limits.
Yeah, nobody knows their limits until they're on stake.
So that means then they don't know their limits.
I'm sure people don't. Hopefully next week on the Punkery show. Okay.
Okay. Hold on. I have Konamila here saying a lot of shit here. Konamila is a Portuguese guy. All right. We had a discussion the other day, and we kind of agreed on how drugs are bad, but he's complicated, And look at Konamila on IRC right now.
Yes.
A shout out to Konamila, caralho, velho.
Yes, I see. He asks, why do you see it as a straight line? I'm trying to figure out how to contextualize that.
No, it's he's saying I have a strict view on drugs and all of that, and I really have it. I mean, it's pretty much about my experience in real life, and the experience I had on the favelas, and how I see drugs and how I see what's right and what's wrong. And for me, I'm totally on the law, and as long as law says it's wrong, and it's not healthy, and if people say it's healthy, it's not. I mean.
Illuminati.
Holy snit, bro.
Those are all fake news.
Everything is fake news. I think that's going to be a subtopic for the video for sure. Okay, so I wanted to do one Debo question. However, I think that's
one what?
Exactly. So this is going to be the final question.
All right.
And it is from Borld.
What about my questions?
Well, you stuck your head in the Discord, you faggot. Maybe we'll do it next time. Okay.
Nah, it's all good.
Save it for the Punkery show.
Save what?
All these questions.
Oh. Okay. So here's Borld's last question here. This is mostly a personal question. What do you know about Brigadier General Arya Solis?
What I know about her?
Yes.
I don't know much about her, but she's a person that is from another game. I don't know. Besides the fact that she's a tranny, so if you're looking out for that, you're gonna find out something that you don't want to find out. And I mean, in general, she's a good person, good player, but I don't know. Don't know much about her. No, she was in the Republic, so not sure if you can trust it. But yeah, I mean that's Brigadier General Solis.
So pretty much, if she was in America, then Trump would disallow.
Yeah, she would be demoted to Colonel for sure and sent to the reserves immediately.
Rip in peace. Justice for trainees. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't say that word on the radio. Okay, justice to transsexuals. Okay.
All right, transsexuals. All right.
Yes. Trainees are people who, are one thing, then con people into another thing. That is a trainee. Okay, get those two separated. Okay. There were a million more questions. Unfortunately, it's time for me to rip. Unless somebody else wants to pick it up. I don't know. No one's saying anything. So, this interview, we started 2 hours and 12 minutes ago.
Caralho,
So, how long was Worlds? 1 hour, 40 minutes?
55, I guess.
So, minus commercials, I'm pretty sure this will be the longest interview in CnR radio history. Nice job, Marcus Weed. I remember last month you're like, oh, I don't want to be on the radio scene yet. But you sure brought your stuff today.
It was a nice experience, and I was able to clear out some, stuff that, especially Ace related. But yeah, it was a good experience. I appreciate the opportunity, and I hope nobody got offended on my point of view. All right, it's my point of view. I respect yours. You can guys, fuck yourself on drugs. I couldn't care less. But it's just my opinions, my experiences. And it's like Titi said, and not everybody's experiences are the same, and they're not. But those are mine, and that's my experiences, and they're bad. So yeah.
Exactly. And remember, if you want to express your opinion, get on to the show. Yeah, faga.
And then I have something to say. Yes, this was an awesome controversial interview. But note, the views and controversial. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, staff, and the guest do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guests do not reflect those of hosts, the show, the management, and the network.
That was a great cap off. Very good cap off. So, let's see here. So our guest was Marcus Weed. We had Ali and World here. What?
Was that the longest one, I guess? Yes? Caralho.
It should be the longest one, yes.
You broke the record.
Breaking the record.
Rip in peace, man.
It'll be very interesting. Interesting interview, too. So, again, for everybody at the CnR Radio Talk Show, this is your host, Rashawn. Our guest was Marcus Weed. We will see you next time.